Welcome mga ka-online class!
Hi mga ka-vlog! So, how are you? I am gingerbread man today. Okay, so for today's video, tuturuan ko kayo ng science. Specifically, science 8. Okay? So, for those who are new to my channel, um, thank you for watching this video. I hope you like this video and you will learn something. And if you learned something, please click the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you will be updated sa mga videos na gagawin ko pa. Okay? So, and for those who are not new to this channel, thank you for coming again. Ang lesson ko ngayon ay Newton's first and second laws of motion. My objectives, first is you're going to be able to state and explain the Newton's first and second law of motion. Second, you'll be able to explain the concept of inertia and give examples. Third, and you'll be investigate the relationship among force applied, mass of the object, and acceleration produced. And next is you're going to be able to solve word problems on Newton's law of motion. Before I will discuss, let us have an activity, okay, that will help you understand this lesson more.
Let's explore!
In this activity, we will be using a pen, pair of scissors, string, and a book. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is we're going to
Tie the string to the pen.
then we're going to hang this pen. You can use a slider or a stick. Okay, now the question is the pen at rest or in motion? Okay, the pen is resting. Are there forces acting on the pen? Okay. Gravity. Gravity is the force that is acting on the pen. That's why the pen hangs on the string. Let's cut the string with a pair of scissors. Now, what happened to the pen? The pen fell. What could have caused the pen's motion? It is the force. The force of the gravity caused the pen to fall on the ground. Another situation, using the book. Placing the book on top of the table, is the book at rest or in motion? The book is at rest. Are there forces acting on the book? Gravity. Gravity is also acting on the book. That's why
it stays on top of the table. Now what happens if one person will push the book in one direction and another person push the book in an opposite direction at the same time with the same amount of push or force? Did the book move? It stayed at rest. How about if we use in one hand more force than the other? The book will move in favor to the one who has greater force. In this situation, both the pen and the book are at rest, but this does not mean that there are no forces acting on them. So what causes them to stay in place? It is the force.
Sa parteng ito, I will be teaching you about the laws of motion. Actually, there are 3 laws of motion. Una is the law of inertia, and then the law of acceleration, and then the law of interaction. Okay? But in this video, I will just be talking to you about the first and the second laws of motion. Okay. Lahat ng bagay, lahat ng nangyayari, lahat ng movements around us, they move in accordance to the law of motion. Okay? So this lesson is important so that maintindihan natin kung bakit ganyan ang galaw ng mga bagay-bagay sa ating paligid. The first law is the law of inertia. Kanina sa ating experiment, no, you realize that when gagamitin natin, when we use two forces that are equal, okay, the object will remain at rest. Hindi siya gagalaw. Kasi they are balanced. Okay? Or they equate into zero. So, the object, hindi gagalaw yung object. So, what is inertia? Inertia, lahat ng bagay has the tendency to resist change in their state of motion or keep doing what they are doing. Example, no? This pentel pen. Okay? I will move this pentel pen across this table. Okay? And as you can see, it stopped. But if there are no forces acting on it, because there is a force acting on this pen, that's why it stopped. It's the friction. But kung walang friction, ang mangyayari dito sa pentel pen na to is it will roll and roll and roll continuously. Okay? But because of there is friction, it stopped. Another example is this, no, this mug. This mug, if we don't put or we don't apply force on it, it will just stay there. Hindi yan gagalaw, hindi yan lulutang, no, ng kusa. It will move if we apply force, just like this. I push it, it moved. Okay, I carried it, it moved. Okay, but if there's no force acting on it, it will just remain at rest. Inertia also is depending on the mass of an object, kung gaano ito kabigat. Example, the inertia of this book compared to this stapler box, okay, since this book is has more weight, has more mass than this stapler box, okay, the force we need to move this staple box is only less than the force we use to move this book. Okay, I exert effort there para ma-move yun. Pero with this stapler box, we can easily push it with the minimal force. But this book, we need to exert force so that we can move it. Okay, that's the inertia. Imagine a one sack of rice. Okay, I use that the same force I used in moving this staple box. It will the one sack of rice will not move because it has greater inertia because it is more massive than this staple box. Okay, so you now understood inertia. Okay, so a more massive object which has more inertia is more difficult to move from rest or slow down, speed up, or change its direction. Okay. So, example, tanungin ko kayo, who has greater inertia? This pen or this book? This book. Because it's heavier than this pencil. Okay? How about who has greater inertia? This pen, pencil, or this mug? Syempre, the mug because the mug has more weight, has more mass than the pencil. Okay. This is the statement of the Newton's first law. A body will remain at rest or move at constant velocity unless acted upon by external net or unbalanced force. So once again, I say the law of inertia explains an object will remain at rest. It will not move if there are no external force. Hindi natin yan gagamitan ng force. It will not move. The same time, an object that is moving, pag hindi natin siya pipigilan with a force, it will continue to move. Okay, so let's now move to the next. Next is Newton's second law of motion, which is the law of acceleration. So here, acceleration is related to force. It means that the amount of force that we use affects acceleration. Kung gaano kalakas o kung gaano kadami yung force na gagamitin natin is ganun din ganun din ang acceleration ng isang object. Okay? So when the net force is doubled, the acceleration doubled din. When it's tripled, the acceleration will be tripled. Okay? When the net force is konti lang yung force na ginamit mo, then the acceleration of the object is konti din lang. Okay? Okay, so here, the law of acceleration states the acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the magnitude of the net force acting on it, and is inversely proportional to its mass. Okay? So, ibig sabihin yan, yung acceleration is directly affected by the force. Kung malakas ang force, malakas ang acceleration. Kung mahina yung force, mahina yung acceleration. But, nakaka-apekto din ng mass. Kasi, kanina yung one sack of rice compared to the mug, okay? The same force that we will apply, okay, their acceleration will not be the same. Because if we kick this mug and we kick the one sack of rice, the mug will accelerate greatly kasi magaan lang siya, it will fly. But if you kick one sack of rice, ikaw yung lilipad kasi mabigat yung one sack of rice. Okay? Your feet, yung paa mo will be hurt. Sasakit yun. The law of acceleration can be expressed in an equation. Okay, the equation is acceleration is equal to net force divided by mass. Okay? Or A is which is acceleration is equal to F net, which is the net force, divided by M, which is the mass. It can also be rearranged in F net is equal to M times A, wherein again M is mass and acceleration is the A. The A is the acceleration. Okay. So, like any other quantity, force as a unit. Kagaya, example, isang yung weight, no, the unit of weight is kilogram. So when we say 1 kilogram, but when we speak about force, the unit is Newton, N. So in a magnitude of 1 na force, we say 1 Newton. Okay? The magnitude of 4 na force, we say 4 Newton. Okay? Because we are speaking about force. So 1 Newton is defined as the amount of force required to give a 1 kilogram mass an acceleration of 1 meters per second squared. Okay? So here, I have here an example word problem. Suppose a ball of mass 0.60 kilogram is hit with a force of 12 Newton. Its acceleration will be using the equation A is equal to F net divided by M. So we substitute. The F net is 12 newtons and the mass is 0.60 kilogram. So 12 newtons divided by 0.60 kilogram, we have 20. And then we put the unit of acceleration. The unit of acceleration is meter per second squared. Okay, that's why A is equal to 20 meters per second squared because it's an acceleration. Here, if the force is increased to 24 Newton, so it is multiplied by 2. For the same ball, ganon din kabigat yung ball. So using the equation, A is equal to F net divided by M. Okay, now the F net is 24 newtons divided by 0.60 kilogram. We get 40. Okay, and we add the unit of the acceleration meters per second squared. So we can see if we double the force, the acceleration is also doubled. Okay, so how about if we're going to we're going to look for force. So the equation is F is equal to mass times acceleration. And when we were looking for mass, so we will have the derivations. So I will teach you about derivations in another video. Okay, so this is the first and the second law of motion. So I hope you learned something. Okay, so let us check. Were we able to state and explain the first and the second law of motion? Yes. Okay, you can now explain the concept of inertia and give examples. Okay, we investigate the relationship of force, mass, and acceleration. Okay, the acceleration is directly proportional to the force, which means if the acceleration is doubled, the force is doubled. If the force is doubled, the acceleration is doubled. Okay, its relation to mass, the heavier the object, the acceleration will be less. Okay, and the force that we need to move a heavy object will be greater. We need greater force to move the one sack of rice. Okay, so those are the relationship. And then lastly, you were able to know how to solve word problems on Newton's law of motion. Okay, so I think that's it for this video. I will post another video for derivations, how to derive equations from a given equation. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching.